So I had an accident about 10 years ago. I had to go in for emergency eye surgery. And during that surgery, something went wrong with the anesthesia. I woke up, I tried to sit up while they had the laser in my eye, and they cut my eye almost completely in half. And after the surgery was done, they came out and they told my mom, who's sitting here with me right now today. Hi, Mommy. They told her, your daughter probably won't be able to keep her eye. She's probably going to lose the eye. And that is something that my mom said, we're not gonna tell her that, because the moment she believes that she's not going to have an eye is when she'll stop believing that, we're not even gonna let her know that's a possibility. So miraculously, I kept my eye, and that's really great. But I had the scarring went right down the center of my line of vision, and I developed a post-traumatic cataract, which had been developing over the last 10 years, preventing light from coming in. It's kind of like a translucent sort of veil that covers my vision. And I've been sitting in on a couple of these events, and I gotta say, every time I come into one of Michael's events, I cry because it's so beautiful, and it's amazing to see that this is available for everybody. And a couple days ago, I told him what had happened. He said, okay, well, let's change that. So we sat down for a few minutes, and I'm really stubborn. So, it probably took a minute and a half instead of 30 seconds for me to start noticing some differences. But if I were to look at a piece of paper and try to read the words because of the scarring, let's imagine you've got a photo and somebody ripped the center of that photo out, and now the two pieces of the photo are kind of moving. I couldn't see anything I was looking directly at before. So the first thing I noticed was that I picked up the crayon in front of me, and I was able to read with that eye every letter on the crayon, which hadn't been possible for the last 10 years. And so that was pretty amazing. I still had quite a bit of fogging because of the cataract, which didn't allow color to come through. So everything I looked at was white or gray, or, that wasn't very vibrant at all. So, we sat for another 30 seconds, and when I opened my eyes, I was able to see color, which I haven't seen in probably 8 years through that eye. So, this morning when I woke up, this was just yesterday that we did this. This morning when I woke up, I have the same vision I had prior to having the injury at all. So the possibility of it healing completely is there, and I've known that all along. I've allowed myself at this point to heal to the point previous to the injury. So I know that the possibility is there for me to have completely perfect vision, and that's what gets really exciting. But I've witnessed some things that are really unbelievable and remarkable and very inspiring. So I'm happy Michael gets a chance to share that with everybody. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you. And that's pretty exciting. And it sometimes still just blows me away that that things can change like that. Especially things that are so visual like that. Like it's one thing for, let's say, somebody that has pain, for the pain to go away. But when things start to change, like right before people's eyes, like Paro, I don't know if she's on here, but she's in my class, and she dropped 100-pound, weight on her foot and shattered her big toe. And, the doctor said it was going to be 3 months or 2 months before she could walk without a boot, drive a car, right? She's already driving her car. She's put a shoe on, right? But we were able to get the pain to go away rather quickly, but it took a few hours for the color, the black and blue and everything, to start to fade. Because when you're sitting there staring at something and it's starting to change, sometimes that's a lot to grasp, right? So you know, some of these things happen, and then we have trouble grasping it. So I think it slows it down. So I'll just use somebody, you know, has pain that's a 10, for example. And it goes from a 10 to a 7 to a 3 to gone. It probably goes from a 10 to a 0, and then 7 is all that we can grasp in that moment. You know, when everything goes from that perfect moment back to the next moment, right? We can grasp a 7, and then we can grasp a 5, and we can grasp a 0. But it probably goes from a 10 to a 0, and then to whatever we can accept to happen in that moment in time. And it's not just them or me. It's always a we thing, right? It's always a combination of, you know, how much knowing and how much belief can I put into that moment in time, and how much are they able to bring into that moment in time as well.